What's up, Zoners? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard you threw coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Jason, today we have our starts and our sits, our plays and our pauses of the week. We were 6 for 8 last week. Somebody was 100%, Jason. So you got to stick around, man. See what I picked this week. Hey, we also have news for yous right here. All the most recent news, man. Every single news is negative coming out, Jason. Out. Turf toe, hamstring, ankles. Holy shit, man. Fantasy football is rough, Jason. And then we got our streamers, dude. So people that you can pick up maybe off your waiver wire or you got them on your bench, you can put them in your lineup this week. And hey, before we get into all that, Jason, this show needs help, man. We need help. Please tell the public how they can help this show.
Yeah, if you guys made it this far and enjoyed two friends talking about fantasy football, please subscribe, press the like. We like the likes. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about our play or pause or streamers. If you have any questions about those, you can also leave a comment. Let us know. We'll get back to you ASAP. We're also on the radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and you know what? We also on the Patreon.
That's right, man. If you ever want more info from this channel, Patreon is a way to support us. Also, liking and subscribing. I mean, that helps. All right, dude. Jason, you called this guy to break out last year. It's probably your best pick. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Nico Collins.
Yes. Oh, that's good, man. Good job. He went to IR. Remember, we the other day was like, it went from day to day. It went from week to week. I'm like, I'm waiting for season to season. I forgot about the month to month, Jason. So month to month is IR. So, yeah, dude, another hamstring, man. He was killing it. He was leading the NFL in receiving yards. I wanted him, and now, I mean, I guess you can trade for him, Jason, if you want to give up some wide receivers. But, yeah, how do you feel about Nico Collins going to IR? Who benefits the most?
I mean, next guy up, right? I mean, Tank Dell, I believe, will benefit from this, hopefully. You know, C.J. Stroud, supposedly best friend. I haven't seen that lately.
Yeah, well, maybe, you know, maybe he took Tank Bigsby from him away, Jason, in fantasy football. You son of a bitch. Anyways, hey, man, this is crazy, too. Oh, but the person that I think is going to benefit the most, we'll talk about in a little bit, Jason. He's one of my streamers. And I've got some little stats for him. I'm sure you've kind of heard some stuff about this maybe mystery wide receiver coming out of Houston. Jason, did you hear about this? Michael Pittman Jr. is going to miss multiple weeks with a back injury?
No. What the heck?
And Josh Downs isn't practicing. Apparently he's injured. I mean, I know it's Dude's Day, but he's got a real injury. So Josh Downs is looking like he might not play this week, Jason. And then Michael Pittman out multiple weeks. So you got Alec Pierce and Adonai Mitchell over there. Adonai Mitchell is at least getting a lot of targets. But yeah, I mean, if Joe Flacco's playing, I would start both. If Anthony Richardson's playing, I would roll the dice, flip a coin.
I think Richardson is going to play, right?
He should. I mean, I haven't heard
going against
about
Tennessee, man.
Tennessee's allowing like the fewest amount of points to like wide receivers this year,
Whew.
so that's not good either.
That's a tough matchup.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, with Pittman out, I don't know. I'm still trying to. I went to go pick up Josh Downs as soon as I heard this, Jason. I thought I put a waiver wire for him. Apparently, somebody paid money. I got no money. Just like real life, I got no money. Hey, Jason. Also, did you see Joe Mixon is not practicing? He's projected 17 points. I was looking at Pat's team, Jason, trying to trade his ass, and I saw, man, Joe Mixon's actually projected a lot of points, so I guess he might be playing this week. Well, guess what? Not practicing. I know it's Dude's Day, but these injured players not practicing on Wednesday is not great. So, Cam Akers and Dare, whatever, looks like they will be at least utilized somewhat this week. And dude, it's a great matchup.
The whole thing with Joe Mixon, I know it is. The whole thing with Joe Mixon is so frustrating because, like, the past, 2 weeks, he's been limited practice, right? Limited participant, thinking that he's going to play for Sunday, and he doesn't. And now he's going back to not playing or practicing? Oh, yeah. Dude. How frustrating is that?
I also, Jason, coming up next, I do want to talk about a streamer that would be on here, but I'm not 100% sure this guy's not playing. Neighbors, still a non-participant. We warned you about this Brian Daboll's wording on Monday. was that he's early in the concussion protocol, blah, 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 blah. It was going to be hard for him to play, Jason. So if he does not play again, let's look for, God, Darius Slayton has an amazing matchup, dude. The Giants have some awesome matchups. If Malik Neighbors plays, dude, he's going to kill shit. But if not, Jason, you can stream Darius Slayton.
Yeah, I think Slayton had a good game last week.
He did.
He did.
And Wan'Dale Robinson seems to be pretty consistent there, no matter what's going on. So I wish I would have picked up Wan'Dale, dude.
Me too.
I was so focused on running backs. I'm so focused on running backs. We'll talk about somebody you can go pick up right now. Oh, you should have picked up yesterday because this video is not live. All right, here we go. Jason, the Saints starting quarterback Rattler with Derek Carr out at least 2 weeks with that oblique strain. You saw him reach for his back. Rattler came out. Jason said, I'm going to target Olave. If he's out there, I'm going to target him. So I think the only benefactor here is Olave because he was getting 3 points a game with Derek Carr anyways.
Yeah, who do they? Oh man, they play against Atlanta or Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least while he's going to start, he's going to have a pretty good matchup.
I think a cat just threw something at my. I think a cat just threw something at my door, Jason.
That's crazy.
Well, there's a dish out there. They flip it, and when they're hungry, I was like, dude, something just knocked on my door, but there's nobody there. Anyways, moving forward, Jason. Devontae Adams out, Jason, versus Pittsburgh. Of course he is. Jacoby Myers, man, is going to be awesome this year, probably. Especially with Aiden O'Connell. He's the guy that fed him last year a lot. No. Aiden O'Connell started throwing Devontae. It was Jimmy Garoppolo, Jason. It was Jimmy Garoppolo. You should know. You were the Jacoby Myers owner. I was the Devontae Adams owner. Yeah. But still, Pittsburgh defense is going to be great, and I think that's all I have to say about that. Devontae Adams out. I still think he's going to go to the Jets. Everybody still thinks he's going to go to the Jets, Jason.
I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, I bet you don't. So, especially after last game.
I hope he never plays again.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. And then Jason, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith logged full practices, man. So I've been trying to trade for Devontae Smith for like a month. He's been out with a concussion for like 3 weeks, but still, that must have been such a serious concussion. And then AJ Brown, man, he has. I mean, this is like Nico Collins shit, Jason. That hamstring. I bet you they're about the same age. And yeah, so coming back, I think they both. I forget who they're playing, but it's a great matchup. I'm pretty sure.
I think they're playing the Browns.
Oh, if that's the case, is that the case? Because the Browns are allowing like the most rushing or the most. I think it's the most rushing yards over the last 3 games. So yeah, dude. What's his
Cleveland?
Name? Saquon Barkley. Holy shit.
Because I was thinking about pausing Jalen Hurts, but then I saw like his wide receivers have a really good chance of playing.
Yeah, exactly. He needs AJ Brown apparently.
Yep.
And then Jason, Jonathan Taylor and Trey Sermon not practicing. I do want to point out Tyler Goodson. If he is available, you could stream Tyler Goodson. If these guys don't play, dude, Tyler Goodson looked amazing last week. I was reading an article about if he should be the change of pace back moving forward throughout the entire season with Jonathan Taylor back. So Tyler Goodson, pay attention to this. If people are out, you can stream him. I should have wrote who they're going against, but I think it's a good matchup.
Tennessee.
No. Oh, yeah. Well, you can't pass against Tennessee, but you should be able to run. I know their passing's insane, or the pass defense is insane. And then Jason, Rachaad White dealing with a foot injury. I just had to drop Bucky Irving because of buys and shit on our 8-man league. It's an 8-man league, so yeah, I had to drop Bucky Irving. But still, man, Bucky Irving should be. Hey, you traded for him, Jason, and now you might be starting to reap some of those benefits.
Yeah, I don't think they have a good matchup this week, but if he is going to be the guy,
dude, Tampa Bay's
Rachaad White does a play, I have to start him, right? I have to start him.
Tampa Bay's got a great offensive line, 2 great wide receivers, a tight end that's becoming awesome. So yeah, the starting running back for that's a good team. So that's a valuable position there. Jason, you had to trade away Jaden Reed, and you need this guy to make that trade even now because everybody's so injured on the fucking Green Bay Packers. He's just a man. Jason, James Cook has a foot and toe injury. I literally just went and picked up Ray Davis. I've been holding Ray Davis all year. And then I guess there was an article that just got deleted by. He's got a foot injury, and people believe it's a turf toe. He might be out multiple weeks, Jason. James Cook. So if you can go pick out who would you rather have, Ray Davis or Ty Johnson in his stead?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I guess go with experience. Ty Johnson. I don't know.
The Reddit board is like Ty Johnson for safety, floor, or ceiling breakout type of shit. Ray Davis.
Right.
So of course I went Ray Davis. I already got 2 free running backs, Jason. I got Kareem Hunt and Tracy, 2 free running backs. Hopefully I get a third. And then Jason, lastly, cornerback Woolen out this week versus San Francisco, plus their entire defensive line, man. So I have been hyping up the Seattle defense. They are so injured, Jason. It is crazy. So look for Deebo Samuel and Aiyuk. I know we're going to talk about that later. But look for everybody to probably have a decent day against a team that I was afraid of.
Yeah, I messed up.
Hey, dude. We can't predict the future, Jason, even though we try. Like, I lay in bed and I roll my eyes back.
And try to
And it
do
doesn't
it.
work.
Even with the Undertaker song playing in the background.
I don't even know what the Undertaker song is, man.
It's just like it's a bell, like. Bang.
Oh, yeah. Hey, leave in the comments. Were you a WWF? Wait. WCW NWO Revenge, or I forget what the WWF version of the Nintendo 64 game was.
It was Warzone.
Warzone.
WWF Warzone. That game.
I still want to buy Warzone. I need to ask for that for Christmas.
I hated that game. I could not figure out how to do the finishing moves.
That
was before Google.
I was just always Goldberg, just spearing fools.
Yeah.
Woo. All right,
That
man.
was fun. That was the funnest one. Sting. I was Sting.
I remember inviting people over and having 4 controllers, and we do a Royal Rumble. Well, we're doing on Halloween Havoc.
That was the one game you can never beat me at, Tyler, because I knew the code, the glitch.
Yeah. Whatever, dude. Goldberg never lost.
Only to me.
Okay. All right, man. Let's get into streaming, Jason. Pretty excited about this guy. I like finding somebody that I hate and then flipping it on his head, Jason. So ever since draft night, man, I really did not like what was it? Is it Levi Levis? What's his name, Jason? Who's the quarterback?
Yeah, Will Levis.
Yeah, I was like, why do I think his name's Levi Evis?
Will Levis, jeans.
Dude, I don't know. And I think Jason, isn't he on that quarterback TV show now?
I'm not watching it. I don't know.
Dude, I don't know. I saw some weird commercial and he's like, you have to have diabolical confidence. And he's all combing his hair and I'm like, oh my God, man.
Are you sure it wasn't like that commercial he did with mayonnaise?
Dude, if that's it, I feel bad. But I don't give a shit, dude. Whatever that was, I didn't like it. I just kind of think he's a douchebag, man. And
The
anyways,
mayonnaise commercial is pretty funny.
okay. He's been injured or was injured. He's got that offensive coordinator that throws the ball a lot, apparently. Now he gets to go against Indianapolis, man. Because I was looking for the best matchup for quarterbacks or for anybody, really, that's through the air. And Indianapolis has given up the most passing yards over the last 3 games, Jason, at 328, dude. So 300 plus per. Giving up the 3rd most fantasy points to quarterbacks, 22.2. And then I looked at Levis' schedule, Jason. He played against Chicago. He played against the fucking Jets, Jason. He played against Miami when Miami's a run funnel defense. They were like in the first 4 weeks or something, they were top tier against wide receivers. And things have been kind of falling apart over there lately, but still, man, they were really good. And then he was quarterback 18 versus Green Bay Packers, and Green Bay Packers has a decent defense as well. So now he gets to go against the extreme, Jason, with all of the buys and the fucking injuries, Jason. To me, Will Levis is going to be a top 10 quarterback this week. He's going to get 250 yards. He's going to get 3 touchdowns, Jason. He might even run for a touchdown. Indianapolis sucks, dude. And I would rather have Joe Flacco starting so he keeps the point total high. But still, Will Levis, as far as a streaming quarterback, Jason, I never thought I'd say this, but I think that this is the week.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember if you just said this, but the Colts have given up the 3rd most passing yards to quarterbacks.
Well, they've given up the 3rd most fantasy points, but over the last 3 games, they're giving up the most passing yards.
And overall, the 3rd most passing yards. And they've given up 2 rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks And Will Levis, he averages 30 to 35 rushing yards a game. So that's an additional 3 points right there.
Yeah, and Jason, like now I'm starting to go on because there's that website I like to go. I like to go like the last 3 games now, because like games 1 and 2. I mean, weeks 1 and 2 of this season were going to be outliers. Hell, maybe the first month was, but so now I'm looking at all the stats from like the last 3 games.
Well, do you know who the number 1 defense is the last 3 games?
Denver.
Go Pack, go!
Denver, if you want to go by points allowed, just they're allowing like 11.3 points against teams.
We're talking about fantasy points.
Well, I'm talking about straight up points.
Pack, go!
All right. Anyways, Jason, who gives a shit about the Packers, man? This is a Vikings house.
I do.
Okay. Next up, man, I'll just talk about this guy real fast. Xavier Hutchinson, Jason. That is the mystery wide receiver for Houston. Have you heard of him?
Yes. He's going to be taking over the Nico Collins role, correct?
Yes. He's supposed to. I've spelled his name wrong right there, but deal with it. He ran more routes, Jason, than Tank Dell after Nico left. And if you look at player profiles, they are the most similar on that team as far as like height and speed and all that stuff kind of goes. Because Stephon Diggs is pretty short, and same thing with Tank Dell. So this guy is more the rangier type. But yeah, dude, 6th round draft pick last season. So this is his 2nd year, Jason. He came in with Tank Dell and CJ. So he's got that rapport. And I was looking at some preseason stuff. He was beating Devin Singletary, their top cornerback. And I was like checking out some of the beat writers. He's talented. Like, he's actually pretty good. And he will be probably shadowed. I don't know if they're going to shadow him or they're going to shadow Stephon Diggs, Jason, with Gonzalez. And Gonzalez is getting up like 0.3 fantasy points per route run, which is kind of a lot for a good cornerback. And the cornerback that Xavier Hutchinson goes against is their best cornerback. He's getting up like 0.19. So that is kind of bad, but he is the guy that they're not going to focus on, Jason. They're going to be focusing on Dell and Diggs. I actually really like Hutchinson. Maybe in PPR leagues, if you're desperate, man, like Rice owner. I mean, I'm so desperate for wide receivers right now with all these injuries and buys. Like every single buy is this week for me and Jason. It's crazy.
So you're telling me not to start Tank Dell?
I didn't say that. I just like I like Xavier Hutchinson. I think that Tank Dell. I don't know, man. I think that his injuries from last year are still, or he got shot as well, right?
Shit. Through the heart, and you're to blame. But yes, Tyler, he's definitely going to get more snaps than Tank Dell because Tank Dell only comes out like in what 3 wide receiver formations,
right? So
he is going to be on the field more than Tank Dell. That gives him more opportunity to score points.
And you literally have and people pointed this out because I really liked Noah Brown last year. You have not Caleb Williams. CJ Stroud, man, he will make average wide receivers look great. So he's got that going for him as well. And then here we go, Jason. Let's go into baby. Zach Ertz. I know he's always on here, dude. But Kansas City, Jason, we always stream tight ends against Kansas City. It's so funny, Jason, because I was like, hey, who do you want? You picked Josh Johnson or Juwan Johnson, and I picked Foster Moreau. Foster Moreau ended up catching that touchdown, didn't he?
Yeah, ended with 9 points.
So funny. So it's like tight ends against
and Johnson ended with 8 points.
Yeah, and then so Kansas City is our favorite streaming against, and then the other team, Jason, that's given up a lot of points to tight ends is the Rams, and they're on buys. So really, it was kind of hard to pick with all of the buys and everything. It was kind of hard to choose somebody to stream against. But Zach Ertz at Baltimore, Jason, I don't like anybody at Baltimore. But with the crowd noise and the pass rush and all that bullshit that's probably going to happen, I like somebody closer to the line of scrimmage. And Baltimore giving up the 6th most fantasy points to tight ends at 10.7. And that's pretty much like the best matchup that you can get for a tight end that is fantasy worthy. Because if you're looking through it, there's like, it's like Jonnu Smith has a better matchup, but are you going to start him? You know what I'm saying? So if you can start Zach Ertz this week, I think he's going to be a top 5 tight end this week.
He was 5 seconds away from being my play of the week for tight ends.
And then Jason, we talked about this. Let's see, New England, man. I was looking at who's allowing a ton of rushing yards. Now they're going to be starting Dude, Drake May against Houston. I'm not liking that for Drake May. I would like to start Drake May against some other bad defense, not Houston Texans. So they're probably going to be. Dude, it's going to be a beat up game. Houston's going to be up by a lot, and now I'm seeing that Joe Mixon is barely going to even be able to play. So I don't think he's going to get many touches in this game. That they're going to be up by a ton. New England is allowing the third most rushing yards, Jason, over the last 3 games at 158 yards a game, dude. And they're giving up the 11th most fantasy running backs at like 21 points. But they've been getting killed by the run as of late, Jason. And this game is, I mean, even the point spread is pretty huge. It's like 8. It's like 7 points, which is like blowout worthy. And yeah, dude. So I just see these garbage running backs. If you want to either start Dare, if you are a Dare believer, because he got like 15 rushes last week. Akers had the better yards per carry and touchdown. So whichever one you think, I'd probably go with Akers, Jason.
I will go with Akers.
And then let's see. Lastly, Algier, Jason. I think that I know that he is not doing well. But he's a valuable piece as a handcuff. But Rams and Miami are on bye. So those are the people I like to start running backs against right now. And then, let's see, Buffalo versus, I don't know why I put that, but Carolina's giving up the second most fantasy points to running backs, Jason. They're getting killed all year. And I don't know. For some reason, I've just been waiting. I've watched those games. I've just been waiting for Algier or Bijan to go off. I think that Algier, Jason, is going to be the beneficiary today, this week. I think that you could stream him in your flex in standard leagues. I would not want to start him in PPR.
I almost did Bijan Robinson for a smoosher. Super smash, bro, for this week because of his matchup. But
yeah,
Carolina's given up the most rushing touchdowns to running backs in the league. But
that's what I saw. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, why do I think that? And I think goal line, Jason, and I don't think Bijan punching it in the goal line. I think Tyler Algier.
But the thing is, dude, Carolina sucks at like every part on defense. Like, I could also see Kirk Cousins like throwing up another like 500-yard game, and that's what kind of like teared me from going with Bijan.
Yeah, he's got a big fat green. I'm starting Kirk Cousins in our listener league, Jason. I'm going against Cart of Mario in our listener league. I'm not sure if they still listen to this, but if you do, I am afraid you are the most dominant team.
I feel like is undefeated, right?
He's undefeated and is like
there you go.
Winning points scored by like 100 points, dude. Like, most points scored by like 100 points.
See, when you donate to the show, you do well in fantasy football.
All right, Jason, we're going to go over our last week's player pause real fast. And then we'll go into the pauses. So last week, man, like I said, we were 6 for 8. Tyler batting 1,000. Our plays, Jason. I forget. You said start Trevor Lawrence, dude. Amazing, man. He was quarterback 10 with 22 points. That was awesome. I said to start Josh Jacobs. He did not do as well as I wanted him to do, but he was still a top 10 running back with 16 points. And then, Jason, our first miss, dropped Tavian Wicks. You said to start or to play. Wide receiver 73 with 4 fucking points. And then, hey, dude, this did not work out as much as I wanted to either. But, hey, if you're tight end, it's 11 points. Holy shit, that's awesome. Tyler Conklin, Jason, tight end number 12 last week. Tight ends actually did well last week, Jason, because 11.5 probably would have got you top 3 over the first 4 weeks. Yeah. And then pauses, man. I said to pause Sam Darnold, quarterback 27, 5 points. Yeah. I still started him in my league against Jason. Yeah. And then Jones, Jason, you said to sit Aaron Jones, right?
Yeah.
And running back 42, he did get injured, but 6.3 points. And then I said to sit Olave, Jason. Olave got 3 points. Wide receiver 77. Yeah. And then we said to sit Pitts, Jason. I think you said to sit Pitts. Tight end number 6, dude. 16 fantasy points. So
it's a trap. That's a trap.
That was a trap, man. I do not blame you on Pitts, Jason. And then on Wicks, I don't blame you on either, dude. Like, if he didn't drop the ball, he would have been fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, any given Sunday, anything can happen.
All right, dude. Well, I want you to take the floor on our first pause, Jason, which is kind of crazy. This guy, man, we were pushing this guy hard before the year, and it's kind of been a disappointment, him and his rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, so let's start this off with a wee. Tyler, this is the gamble of the week. This is my riskiest pick. And I'm saying, listen up, baby. Perk up. Pause, quarterback 7, Kyler Murray. This one, I kind of want to go somebody who has projected a lot of points. And I believe he's projected like 18 or 19 points. So I was aiming high. This is definitely a gamble because it's Kyler Murray. He could put up 40 points on any given Sunday, you know. So here we go. 3 out of the 5 games played, he's thrown under 200 yards passing. 4 games with 1 passing touchdown. His best game was 266 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that was against the Rams. He should have 30-point games because their secondary is bad, like really bad. Now the Packers on defense, you know, they're not great. They're good, but they're not great. But the last 3 games, the Packers are tied 3rd in sacks, and they're 1st in forced fumbles and 2nd in interceptions with 4. And in the middle of the league in points allowed, an Arizona pass block win rate is 23rd overall. Now, though, Kyler Murray has been running crazy, right? I think he had a 50-yard touchdown last week. But the Packers have not allowed 100 yards rushing combined from quarterbacks in the first 5 weeks. And they played against Anthony Richardson, Jalen Hurts, and Will Levis. He's averaging 194 passing yards a game, 1 passing touchdown a game. If the Packers can contain his running, he won't meet his projections at Lambeau Field. I pause. Kyler Murray.
That's crazy, man. About where are you getting all those stats from like that?
Which ones?
About the Packers defense not allowing 100 rushing yards. You just go through yourself, or did you see that somewhere?
You know, you were talking about a little bit of last 3 games.
That's awesome.
You know which? That's Fantasy Today, I think it's called.
Yeah, it's like green, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If you go, Packers are the number 1 fantasy defense in the last 3 games.
Oh,
like
fantasy. Oh, that one. Right. Now I was thinking something else. Yeah, man. So Kyler Murray versus the Packers. I mean, Jason, the Rams actually played the Packers pretty well, but Stafford has still not been doing anything as far as fantasy goes. So I wouldn't see that happening. But yeah, man, I'm hoping I think this is going to be more of a. How have the Packers been doing against the run, Jason?
I think
they were middle of the pack last time I checked. They were like 16th.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, they're 17th, middle of the pack. I think
it's gonna be more of a James Conner, baby, just like last week.
I feel like Yep.
I'm a James Conner owner, so I was happy.
I know, man. You know how tough it is. I was playing against you last week, and I was going against James Conner, but I got James Conner in my 8-man league. Anyway, okay. Like I said, this is the gamble of the week because Kyler Murray, he's able to pop off. He could do his thing, but the passing has just not been there. He's been was it underwhelming? And he cannot connect with his main wide receiver, his rookie wide receiver, Marvin Harrison-Jones. Their catch rate is 48%. And also, Tyler, God, this is so difficult for me to talk today. Allergies, dude. They suck. He's also at 6th in pass drops. So his wide receivers, his tight ends, running backs are not catching the ball.
Yeah, like I said, I'm still trying to trade for Marvin Harrison Jr. I see other websites trying to trade him away. And then, Jason, next up, man, I got J.K. Dobbins, who's somebody that I was actually trying to trade for. I think, I don't know if he's got a terrible schedule. I think he might have a terrible, terrible schedule for playoffs. It's like Kansas City Chiefs, Denver, shit like that. Like
Raiders.
Yeah, maybe. So Dobbins, I would not want to trade for him, but still, I like him a lot. I think he could be a top 5 running back some weeks. Not this week, though, Jason. He was held to 32 rushing yards week 4 versus the Chiefs, and the Chiefs have a really good run defense. What's crazy, Jason, is somebody dropped the Chiefs defense. I got all super happy. I was like, oh my God, dude. I clicked on it. They do not score fantasy points. They do not get turnovers or sacks. They just keep people to like no yards or no points. It's kind of crazy.
Yep.
Like seriously, they don't generate sacks or turnovers, but they just keep people to such a low point total. So now they have to go against Jason Denver. So The Chiefs and Denver, as far as like smothering people for points, is almost the exact same. Denver's actually a little bit better right now. And then the most important thing is they could probably take on these type of teams if they have their two best offensive linemen, Jason, Rashad Slater and Joe Alt, but they've been injured for, I don't know, 2 weeks now or a week and a half. I can't remember. I tried to look and see. What I saw, they were still injured. So I think he sprained his MCL, Alt did, and Slater hurt his pec. So that is a huge part of that offense right now. Like, it needs to be a good matchup without those two for them to be successful. Denver, the number one defense over the last three, allowing 11.3 points per game. And when I say that, I mean, like, they only allowed 7 points last week. They allowed 7 points a week before that. Oh, I'll do this right here, dude. Check this out. Held Madison to 15 for 38 and the Raiders to 18 points. So the Raiders scored 18 points, Jason. But then they held Breece Hall to 4 rushing yards and the Broncos and 9 points and the Jets to 9 points. Then they held the Bucks, Jason. The Bucks, who's a good team, who's a really good team, to 90 rushing yards and 7 points week 3. So they have been holding people down, man. Fifth fewest rushing yards over the last three games. Dobbins, with these two guys out, such a low point total, Jason. I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, it would be hard for to try to convince me to play J.K. Dobbins in this matchup. The Broncos' defense is really good. Their offense isn't so great, but when your defense plays as well as it has, like you could put Bo Nix back there, and throw one touch. Actually, he threw 3 touchdowns last week.
That Jets game was the craziest game, dude. It's like
I know
12-9,
something like that.
Score against, yeah, man, fucking crazy. What'd you say?
I think it was like 12-9.
Yeah, but those defenses were like 2 shutdown. There's like 3 shutdown defenses right now, and 2 of them are playing each other.
I know.
All right, man. Here we go. Next up, I know you like this one. This one you're super confident about. I know that.
Oh gosh. Well, let's pause Brendan Aiyuk, okay? So, where am I at? Where am I at? I'm all over the place.
These stats don't mean anything anymore.
I know, that's what I feel. Okay.
Woolen.
Okay, so Aiyuk finally had a big game last week, scoring over 20 points. Fantasy managers, rejoice! We all hung out and were happy about Aiyuk, even though I don't own him. But that would be short-lived. Aiyuk lines up against Seahawks. Tyreek Woolen, no. He's out. So who's the next man up, Tyler? It's Devin Witherspoon? Okay, how's he doing? Oh, he's only allowing 0.17 fantasy points per route run, which is amazing. So let's go back and look at the history of Aiyuk against Seattle, because they played quite a few times. Aiyuk's history against Seattle, 27 catches, 419 yards, and 2 touchdowns and 7 games. That's not good. That is awful. So, while Deebo Samuel's history against Seattle is 60 catches, 742 yards, and 6 touchdowns in 6 games, and that's not including his rushing stats. Samuel appears to be the wide receiver to play against Seattle every year, every game. And then this looks like it's going to be a Kittle and Deebo game. So I paused Brandon Aiyuk.
Jason, I tried to check out the PFF 10 wide receivers versus man zone coverage. One of their main things was Deebo Samuel has a great matchup with the zone coverage that Seattle is running right now. So I would guess that Seattle, that he is going to be. One second. One second. Hey, I'm doing a TV show. Can I call you back? But
a TV show.
I'm doing a TV show. So yeah, I would expect Deebo to be the benefactor there. So yeah, but Jason, history. Yeah. It just kind of sucks.
What'd you say? Sorry.
It just sucks, man. That you pause him because of his cornerback matchup, and his cornerback is out.
Yeah, I even had this extra stat that I just glanced over. Is that last year when Aiyuk went up against Woolen, he only allowed 3 receptions for 26 yards, 0 touchdowns in 2 games. But it is what it is.
Well, I think were him and Witherspoon rookies last year?
No, I think maybe. I know Witherspoon for sure, right? He was the one that was top 10 pick.
Yeah.
But
all right, man.
We'll see what happens.
Next up, I got Dalton Kincaid, and you're like, why are you pausing him, man? Josh Allen can't even see straight. He needs to throw somewhere close to him. He's out here smelling salts, Jason. Jets. And I usually would always look at Fred Warner and the 49ers to know who I want to not start tight ends against. Last week, Trey McBride did do well against Fred Warner, but Fred Warner was banged up. But Jason, the 49ers are going against the Seattle, and who the fuck is the tight end for Seattle? Nobody cares. So I had to look up to the next best or the next worst matchup, Jason, the Jets, giving up the second fewest points to tight ends at 4.1. Dude, at 4.1, that's terrible. They're giving up the fewest passing yards over the last 3 games at 97 yards per game, Jason. So Robert Saleh just got fired, right? Dude, they've been allowing 97 passing yards per game over the last 3. And the next fewest, Jason, is 144. So it's like 50% more than 50, that's like 60% more. That is insane as far as how good the Jets are against the pass right now. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Kincaid led the team in targets last week with 7, but only had 2 receptions, which was his lowest since week 1. Has yet to hit the 50-yard reception mark, Jason, and only has 1 touchdown. So, best case scenario, he breaks that 50-yard thing and he gets a touchdown. I mean, that'd be amazing. But against the Jets, he's not going to get either.
Yeah. Especially when Josh Allen's doing 9 completions for 30 attempts.
Yeah, well, that was some crazy shit. I felt bad for Josh Allen. He's out there concussed. He's like, "Oh man, it sounds to me like you hurt your foot. Like you hurt your foot, Jason."
Right. Do you know how many sponsors are watching this game? Get back out there.
Yeah, fuck. All right, man. Let's get to the positive, Jason. Our plays, and I think I'm first up. Since you were sitting Kyler, man. Oh yeah. All right. I own this guy. I'm starting this guy. I drafted this guy. I dropped this guy. And then I picked this guy up once more. Caleb Williams, Jason. I was looking at who's got the best matchups, and Caleb Williams has the best. Jacksonville gives up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks this year at 23.1 points per game. They're giving up the most passing yards per game at 288. They gave up 360 yards and 3 touchdowns to Joe Flacco last week. Stroud had 350 yards and 2 touchdowns week 4. And then Josh Allen had 4 passing touchdowns in week 3, Jason. So it's like people are averaging 3 touchdowns a week over the last 3. It's like 9 touchdowns, dude. Wait, 6, 10 touchdowns over the last 3 weeks. Wait, that's week 4. I'm adding different things. 9 touchdowns. Yeah, 3 touchdowns a game. So Jason, Caleb Williams just threw 2 touchdowns. He's actually clicking with a little bit with DJ Moore in the red zone as well. So I am liking Caleb Williams this week, Jason. As far as I've got Sam Darnold and he's injured and he's on bye. It just seems like there's a lot of byes and a lot of shitty quarterback play, regardless.
I'm looking at the wide receiver cornerback matchup between these two, and it's nothing but green.
Yeah, DJ Moore has the best. I wanted to do DJ Moore, but I was like, I can't do the 2 on the same team.
0.39 fantasy points per route run that Brown was giving up. Yeah. Caleb Williams, dude. He has another opportunity to blow up. It's going against a weak ass secondary.
Good job, Jason. I should have added that on here because I was like, I can't put that DJ Moore. I should have put DJ Moore's good matchup on here. Just say, hey, man, Caleb Williams, he's proven to be good in the red zone, and now his proven red zone target is going to have an amazing matchup. So
yeah,
I like Caleb Williams this week, man. Like I'm hoping for 15 plus points for him, and that's a fucking win. Coming from I started him and got 6 points. I think 2 games in a row. Oh no. 6 points from him, and then 6 points from Matthew Stafford week 2. All right, Jason, let's hear your next play. Running back.
Okay. Let's here we are. Let's play running back 13, David Montgomery. The Dallas Cowboys defense allows the 7th most scoring to running backs, and Montgomery hasn't scored under 15 points this year and has scored a rushing touchdown in every game. He's averaging What?
So when you said rushing touchdown every game, I was just like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. He is averaging 15 rushes a game, but his projections is 14 points. I think he could excel, blow up, go nuclear. Even though Jahmyr Gibbs plays more snaps, Montgomery has more rushing attempts, and the Lions run the ball third most, about 32 times a game. So they run the ball a lot. He's leading his team in rushing. He's going up against a defense that allows 7 most points to running backs. But here's the final thing. This one took the lid off, Tyler. The Lions' run block win rate is third best in the league. The Lions' offensive line is earning 1.70 yards before contact. That is second best behind the Commanders. What? And the Cowboys' defensive line is allowing 1.40 yards before contact.
Oh my
So the
God.
Lions are pushing the line, and the Cowboys are pulling the line. And the Cowboys might have 3 starters out on the defensive line. Montgomery is set to have the big game. I play David Montgomery.
Yeah, I just remember, Jason, man, there's a lot of defensive. So it's Seattle's defensive line and Cowboys' defensive line. Dexter Lawrence, right? Or not Dexter Lawrence, Tank. I can't remember who the guy was that injured. Who's your guys' defensive line that's injured? Is it Tank?
Well, we have Michael Parsons. And then we have Nealon, who just got hurt. I think you're talking DeMarcus Lawrence? No. Oh, my God. DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah. I thought he was out, too, so.
Yes.
Yeah, man. But Montgomery, I was like, I'm going to try to trade. Should I try to trade for Montgomery? I looked at his stats. I'm like, that guy's not going to let him go. It's like the most consistent running back in the world.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Jason, like what you said about like how these teams are running the ball a lot. The Lions, man, I thought they'd be some pass happy team this year. No, they're using that offensive line, man, because they got like the best offensive line, like you said.
Right.
And I mean, hey, dude, you could be in a timeshare in the Lions and get more carries than somebody that, I'm trying to think of a team that passes the ball all the time and never fucking runs the ball. A main running back on that team. So
The Chiefs.
Hey, dude, Kareem Hunt, dog, got like 27 rushes.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Holy crap. I did not know that. There you go, dude.
Kareem Hunt. He is not as spry as he used to be, Jason. He just dives forward for he gets 4 yards a carry, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Here we go, man. Next up. I almost put Ridley on here, dude, as my start of the week for wide receivers, but that's what got me on to Levis instead. We're going to be talking about McLaurin, Jason. McLaurin.
Oh, yeah.
And I think what they're going against...
Baltimore.
I have this. Yeah, they're going against Baltimore. And Baltimore has given up the third most passing yards per game of the last 3, almost 300 yards per game, Jason. And a lot of that's skewed because of Joe Burrow, all right? But still, they have not been good on the back end all season long. And then 0.42 fantasy points per route run for Terry McLaurin. Elite is about 0.6. But he's actually running a ton of routes, so that makes up for that. And he's going against Brandon Stevens, Jason, who's giving up 0.25 fantasy points per route run, which is not great. But still, it's not like it's a shutdown cornerback or anything like that. And then, let's see, Baltimore giving up the third most fantasy points. So third most passing yards, third most fantasy points to wide receivers. So the third most fantasy points to wide receivers, Jason, at 37 points per game, that is 0.7 behind the most. So they are like one bad game from being the most points allowed to wide receivers this year. And then Chase had like 200 yards, man. Jamar Chase had like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns week 5 last week. Shakur had 10 points versus Baltimore week 4. And CeeDee Lamb, they did keep CeeDee Lamb in check, Jason, but I don't give a fuck because the Cowboys suck so bad. 4 for 67 week 3. But consistently, man, the Ravens have been giving up a ton of passing yards. And I am just done. I will stop doubting. I'm going to start doubting this passing offense, Jason, once it happens. I'm not going to. I keep on thinking it's going to happen every week. I'm over it. All right. I've been believing in these running backs. I've been believing in the tight end, not so much the wide receivers. But now I'm just going to say you can believe in the. I'm going to believe in the wide receivers until they stop producing from now on.
Yeah, that game is going to win me my week. I got Jaden Daniels and Derrick Henry. The over and under is 51.5. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a shootout between Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels.
And it's at Baltimore, right, Jason?
I think so.
So if anything's ever going to go wrong for Jaden Daniels, it's going to be this game. But like I said, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to stop denying him until it fucking happens. And then here we go, Jason. We got one more play from you. And hey, dude, this guy almost got you 2 touchdowns last week, but that the backup tight end caught that.
Yeah. I almost went Zach Ertz because exactly what we were just talking about with the Commanders-Ravens game. But I'm going play tight end 7, Pat Freiermuth. And here's why.
Yeah.
Steelers versus the Raiders. The Raiders defense allows 5th most points to running backs. What? Why am I talking about running backs, Tyler? But the Steelers' only healthy running back is Najee Harris, who is showing us another inefficient year of running the ball. Dude, that guy is showing us that he still sucks, man. He can't do nothing. So the Raiders are 20th in wide receiver scoring. That's a little bit better, right? A little bit tougher. The Raiders cornerbacks allow under 0.25 fantasy points per route run, and the cornerback, this is a crazy name. I practiced it for like 30 minutes, and I already forgot what his name is. Jacorian Bennett. He's their best, and he allows 0.19 fantasy points per route run, and he'll play against, he'll face off against George Pickens, who is technically, their best wide receiver. It is not impossible, but not easy to throw against the Raiders, which means there could be plenty of opportunities for Pat Freiermuth, who is also 7th in targets in the red zone, 4 tight ends, and he has scored back-to-back touchdowns in back-to-back games. I can see double-digit points again. I play Patty Pubs Freiermuth.
Yeah, and they went against Denver last week, Jason. Wait, who am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking about the Raiders, right? The Raiders went against Denver last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and even Denver having issues on offense clicked eventually with him. So I think that because I've been hearing a lot of shit, dude. Because like Colin Cowherd is like, Justin Fields is a new man. I wish he was my quarterback, and now he's like, Justin Fields is the worst quarterback in the world this week. And I was like,
God.
And I was
Sounds like Howard.
Dickhead.
Coward.
But hey, this week, Justin Fields will be rectified, man. And yeah, so it's just going to be a beatdown week, man, because the Raiders don't want to play. I just hope Brock Bowers gets like 5 catches. But yeah, the Raiders are a team that's already checked out, probably going to be trying to get a quarterback, next season. It sucks, man. I wish they would have just got this would be a whole different story, Jason, if they would have just got Michael Penix Jr., man.
Right. Atlanta screwed that up.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it, Jason.
All right.
Anyways, that is the show. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we earned a thumbs up. Hopefully we earned a subscription, because that's what we need, man. And hey, this is the Fantasy Red Zone. We got some stuff coming out. Jason, what is coming out?
After you watch this, a very important video, the following day we have our live video where we do our Reikis. I have a few brewskis. Come join us, ask your questions, drink with us. It's a good time. It's a lot of fun. Tyler gets smashed. And then Tyler also has his morning show on Sunday morning, and then the waiver wire Sunday evening. The earliest one in the world.
Go watch Beer Fest.
Yep. I'll talk to you in that live episode. Deuces.
This is the Fantasy Red Zone, and we appreciate you.